You were running after the puppy when you slipped and were about to fall when Tayo caught you before you fell. You closed your eye for fear of falling. When you realized you have not fallen, you open your eyes. So your eyes met Tayo's deep black eyes, who was looking at you with intense eyes. You both just stare at each other for a while, then you both come to your sense when the puppy barks. Wine, sorry, you say so innocently. Taehyung lost in your innocence. Wine, sorry, not on purpose, Mrs. Kim. Why are you saying sorry? Wine, actually I bumped into him, so I am saying sorry to him. Mrs. Kim, okay, will you meet him? This is my son Kim Taehyung. Wine, hello, my name is Wine. Taehyung's heart starts beating faster when he hears your sweet voice. Mrs. Kim, Taehyung, Wine will be staying at your mansion for a few days. Taehyung, okay mom. Mrs. Kim, you don't have any problem if Wine lives in your mansion? Taehyung, no. Mrs. Kim, you really won't have any problem, right? Taehyung, yes mom. Mrs. Kim, Wine, you can stay here until I come back from London. You nodded innocently. Actually, after your parents died, you lived with Taehyung's parents, but Taehyung's parents had to go to London for an important work, so they came to drop you at Taehyung Mansion. When, okay, aunt, you hugged her. Mr. Kim, Mrs. Kim, let's go now. We are late for the flight. Mr. Kim comes to her and says, Mrs. Kim, yes, let's go. They go out of the house. You were sitting at the dining table having dinner when Taehyung comes there. You were just eating without looking at him because Taehyung's mom told you to stay away from him. Taehyung's mind, why is she ignoring me? Taehyung pretends to cough yet you don't look at him. Taehyung mind, is it true that she is ignoring me? Taehyung, how old are you? Cold tone. You get scared after hearing Taehyung's cold tone because Taehyung's mother told you that Taehyung is very rude, so you get scared. When I'm 18 years old, you said scared. Taehyung, what do you want to do after studying? When Taehyung realized you were scared of him, he lowered his voice and asked nicely. When I want to become a painter. Taehyung, oh, good choice. When you are very nice, then why was auntie saying that you are getting very angry? Taehyung, I'm not angry all the time, just angry sometimes. David, who came to tell Taehyung something important, is shocked to hear this. David is Taehyung's assistant. David mind, you really get angry sometimes? Then Taehyung notices David. Taehyung, you go and wait for me in the study. David goes from there. Taehyung was sitting like a king in a dark room and a man was pleading in front of him. Please, Mafia King, forgive me. Taehyung started pressing the man's hand with his foot, causing the man to scream in pain. Taehyung, you tried to betray me, and I never forgive those who betrayed me. The person was crying and pleading to leave. Taehyung, leave him to the Edward. Edward is a white tiger raised by Taehyung which is very dangerous. It only listened to Taehyung. Everyone was afraid to Edward. No one wanted to go near it. Please don't leave me with Edward. If you have to kill me, shoot me, but please don't leave me with Edward. The man was pleading, but the bodyguard took him away from there without listening to him. Next morning, Taehyung was sleeping in his room. He woke up when he heard screaming. When Taehyung came out of his room, he saw that you were crying and in front of you was Edward who was growling at you. Taehyung, when you see Taehyung in front of you, you hug him. Taehyung, calm down. Edward won't do anything to you. Seeing you cry, Taehyung glares at Edward, causing Edward to stop growling. Taehyung, calm down. I am here. Nothing will happen to you. When Taehyung sees that you still aren't Calming down, he picked you up in his arm and carried you to his room. Taehyung, stop crying now. Edward is not here. When that tiger would eat me, you speak while crying. Taehyung, Edward does not attack anyone without my permission. When? But what is that tiger doing here? Taehyung, Edward is my pet. When? Who keeps a tiger as a pet? Taehyung, I keep. When? Then I won't stay here. Taehyung, mind now you won't be able to go away from me even if you want to. Taehyung, Edward. Hearing Taehyung's voice, Edward comes inside the room. Seeing Edward, you hug Taehyung again in fear. Taehyung, Edward comes here. When? Please don't call Tiger. You grab his shirt tightly. Taehyung, you touch it. It won't do anything to you. When? I won't touch it. It will eat me. Taehyung held your hand and caressed Edward's head. At first you were scared, but after some time your fear started reducing and then you yourself slowly started cursing Edward's head. You were coming down the stairs with Edward, seeing which all the servants were surprised, because no one except Taehyung knew how to control Edward. On top of that, Edward was very dangerous that everyone was afraid of it. Is Madam not afraid of Edward? She must not be feeling scared. That's why she is coming so comfortably with Edward. Some time later, when Taehyung comes to living hall, he is jealous of seeing how close you are to Edward. Taehyung, what are you doing? Taehyung comes to you and says, When you are right, Edward is not scary at all. Taehyung mind, why did I put Edward in the mansion? He was scolding himself. Taehyung, it's time to eat Edward. Let go now. When? What? But I want to play with Edward more. You speak with a sad face. Seeing you sad, Edward starts licking your face. Seeing this, Taehyung's face turns red with anger. When? Edward, you go now. We will play later. Edward growls as if to say, Okay. Taehyung, guard, take Edward out of here. The guards takes Edward away. Taehyung, let's have breakfast now. You nodded. You were leaving your room and going into the living hall when someone pulled you into the room. When? Taehyung, what are you doing? Taehyung, where were you going? He said while leaving his deep breath on your neck. When? Near Edward. Taehyung, you should give more time to me, not Edward. When? You are feeling jealous of your own pet? Taehyung, I can't share you with anyone. When? Even I can't share you with anyone. Hearing this, Taehyung starts coming closer to you. Then you hear Edward growling, so you push Taehyung and leave the room. Taehyung, how long will you run from me? Smirk. You and Taehyung went to a party. Taehyung was busy talking with some of his business partner, so you were sitting at a table drinking juice. RM, hey Wayan, hey you are here? RM, yeah, I have come here with Dad, but who have you come here with? Wine, with Taehyung. RM, you come with Taehyung? The CEO of Kim Enterprises? You nodded. RM, but I hear that he does not go anywhere with any girl. So how did he bring you with him to the party? Wine, does he really not go anywhere with any girls? RM, yeah, 1 second. Why are you so shy? Do you love him? He speaks while staring at you. When? I love him. RM, since when? When? He proposed me a few days ago. Taehyung was talking to some of his clients when his eye fell on you and he clenched his fist angrily. Because RM was talking to you smilingly while holding your hand and you were also talking to him smilingly. Taehyung mind, how dare he hold her hand? Taehyung comes to you and holds your hand and leads you there. When? Taehyung, what happened? Why are you so angry? Hearing this, he comes closer to you and holds your hand. Taehyung, why did you hold his hand? He was speaking, gritting his teeth. Tang was so angry that he did not realize he was holding your hand tightly. He was so obsessed with you that he did not want anyone to get closer to you. When Tang, you are hurting me. When Tang listens to you, he realizes that he held your hand too tightly in anger. Tang, sorry, princess. I am really sorry. I did not want to hurt you, but I could not control my anger when I saw you with him. When he is my cousin. Tang, sorry, princess. You turn your face away and start crying. Tang tries to talk to you, but you don't talk. Tang was trying to talk to you since morning, but you were not talking to him. Tang, princess, listen to me. You were ignoring Tang when you hear Tang's mother's voice. Mrs. Kim, when, aunt, you hugged her. Mrs. Kim, how are you? When, I am fine. How are you? Mrs. Kim, I am fine too. Smile. When, and where is uncle? Has he not come? Mrs. Kim, he is waiting for us in the car outside. Let's go home. She grabs your hand and start walking. When Taung grabs your other hand. Taung, princess, please don't leave me. Taung's mother, let go of your hand. Taung, please don't leave me. I will never hurt you again. He hugged you. Mr. Kim, now we must get out of here. Mrs. Kim, I am very happy for my son. Mr. Kim, me too. They go away from there. Taung, I love you. Please don't go. When I love you too. You also hugged him.